Welcome to Storytime in Hubbleville. Today we're reading Thurston T. Turtle Moves to Hubbleville, Chapter 3. Directions to the Old House. As Mr. Possum was entering the Hubbleville Inn, Mr. Frogson noticed Mr. Turtle coming out of the corner store. "Good morning, Mr. Frogson," called Mr. Turtle when he noticed his new acquaintance walking toward the bank on Cashew Street. Mr. Frogson turned around. "Good morning, Mr. Turtle. How are you today?" "I'm doing fine, thank you. And you?" Mr. Turtle politely inquired. "Doing well, thank you," Mr. Frogson answered in return. "Wonderful. Actually, I'm glad I bumped into you. You were so kind to direct me to the inn when I arrived. I was wondering if you might help me again. I can't seem to find my directions to 123 Oak Street," explained Mr. Turtle, somewhat embarrassed. "Of course, I'd be happy to help," Mr. Frogson said. "I believe that is the unoccupied house on Oak Street." "Yes," agreed Mr. Turtle, somewhat relieved. "Then you know where it is?" "Yes, I do. It's not too far from here, actually. Just go back to the corner and walk down Dusty Drive, go past the inn, turn right onto Bloom Street, and then go 3 blocks and turn left onto Oak Street. I believe the house you're looking for is the 5th house on the right. It's a large white house with black shutters. The chimney is missing a few bricks, and the grass is quite overgrown. I'm afraid the house is also boarded up. It's been vacant for quite some time," explained Mr. Frogson. "I can't thank you enough, Mr. Frogson," replied Mr. Turtle, as he finished writing the directions on a scrap of paper. "You've been most helpful. I hope we can get together sometime soon and get to know each other. I'd like to treat you to a cup of coffee and some pie. Do you like pie?" "I love pie," Mr. Frogson said, tapping his round belly. His mouth began to water. "I would like that very much. You'll soon find out that Hubbleville is home to some of the best pie in the world, Mr. Turtle. Good luck with the house." They shook hands, and then Mr. Frogson watched Mr. Turtle head back toward the corner and disappear onto Dusty Drive. Mr. Frogson stood just a moment, undoubtedly daydreaming about pie, and then turned and continued on to the First Hubbleville Bank and Loan. I hope you'll join us again for Chapter 4 of Thurston T. Turtle Moves to Hubbleville.